In the sultry streets of 19th century New Orleans, where the scent of magnolias mingled with the sharp tang of the river, stories of beauty and tragedy often intertwined. Among them, one tale stood out, whispered through the alleyways and grand mansions alike, a story that has baffled historians and captivated imaginations for generations. It was the story of the most beautiful slave in New Orleans history, a woman whose allure seemed almost otherworldly and whose fate remained shrouded in mystery. She was known simply as Celeste, though it is uncertain if that was the name she had been given at birth or one she adopted when her reputation began to spread. Born in the early 1820s on a sugar plantation outside the city, she was the daughter of a white overseer and an enslaved Creole woman. Her complexion, a luminous caramel, and her striking green eyes set her apart in a society obsessed with appearances and lineage. But it was not merely her physical beauty that drew attention. It was the intelligence that shone behind her eyes, the quiet dignity with which she carried herself, and the whispers of a spirit untamed even by the harshest of circumstances. From a young age, Celeste displayed an uncanny ability to captivate those around her. She could read the moods of the household staff, predict the movements of the plantation owners, and understand the unspoken tensions of a world built on inequality and fear. Those who worked alongside her often swore that she possessed a sixth sense, as if she could peer into the hearts of men and women alike. This perception made her both a treasured servant and a source of silent danger. Admiration in New Orleans could easily twist into obsession. As she grew, her beauty became the stuff of legend. Travelers who visited the city wrote in their journals of a young woman whose presence seemed to command attention without a word. The local elite, always seeking entertainment and novelty, made offers to her owners, hoping to possess her as they would a prized painting or a delicate jewel. But Celeste's life was never hers to claim. Each transaction, each whispered negotiation, brought her closer to an inevitable darkness that no charm or intelligence could repel. Her allure did not go unnoticed by powerful figures in the city. One story tells of a wealthy Creole merchant who, upon seeing her at a masquerade ball, offered a fortune to the woman who owned her. The merchant, known for his capricious nature and ruthless dealings, was reportedly mesmerized by her composure and beauty, claiming she possessed a rare magnetic light that illuminated the room. Celeste, as the story goes, simply smiled at the attention, a faint trace of sadness behind her eyes. No matter the wealth offered, she remained in bondage, trapped by laws and societal norms that treated her as property rather than personhood. But Celeste's life was more than a tale of enslavement and admiration. There were whispers of intrigue, of secrets kept, and alliances formed in the shadowed corridors of the French Quarter. Some claimed she had the ability to overhear conversations meant to be private, secrets that could ruin lives or change fortunes. Her intelligence and charisma allowed her to navigate the dangerous waters of New Orleans society with remarkable finesse. She could appear as a timid, obedient servant to the masters, while subtly influencing events to protect herself and those she cared for. In a city rife with betrayal and scandal, such skill was both a gift and a curse. It was during this time that Celeste's life took a darker turn. One evening, a young journalist visiting from the north arrived at a grand ball, hoping to capture the spirit of the city for his newspaper. It was there that he saw her, standing by the staircase, draped in a simple gown that did little to hide her radiance. He later wrote that he had never witnessed such beauty or grace, and he began asking questions about her origins, her life, and the rumors that swirled like smoke around her presence. His curiosity, however, was met with reticence. Slaves were not to be questioned, and their stories were considered property of their owners. Yet, despite the barriers, the journalist could not resist digging deeper, sensing that Celeste's story held more than mere aesthetics. It carried the weight of the city's hidden truths. The mystery deepened when reports began circulating of strange events surrounding her. Some claimed that men who grew too obsessed with her would vanish under suspicious circumstances, while others told of clandestine meetings in the back streets of the city, where deals were struck in her name without her apparent involvement. There were tales of letters exchanged, warnings delivered, and even threats made against those who dared to cross her. Celeste, it seemed, had become a central figure in a web of intrigue, yet no one could claim to fully understand her motives. Some believed she wielded supernatural influence, others suspected a cunning mind that was always 2 steps ahead. Whatever the case, her legend only grew. One particularly chilling story involved a high-ranking official who had taken a dangerous interest in her. It was said that he invited her to his mansion under the pretense of employing her as a seamstress, but his true intent was far more sinister. Celeste, aware of the danger, reportedly outwitted him, leading him into a trap that exposed his corrupt dealings and left him disgraced. While accounts of this event vary, it cemented her reputation as more than just a beautiful woman. She was a figure capable of navigating perilous situations with courage and cunning, a symbol of subtle resistance in a society built on oppression. Despite these tales of intrigue and power, Celeste's life remained constrained by the harsh realities of slavery. She was sold multiple times, moved between households, and subjected to the whims of those who saw her as an object rather than a human being. Her intelligence and beauty could not shield her from the cruelty of the world she inhabited. Yet, even in the face of suffering, she maintained a sense of autonomy, using her wits to carve out small victories in an otherwise bleak existence. She formed bonds with fellow slaves, mentoring younger women and offering guidance when possible. In many ways, her influence extended beyond her personal story, touching lives and shaping the experiences of those around her. Her ultimate fate remains one of the most enduring mysteries of New Orleans history. Some records suggest she escaped during the chaos of a fire that engulfed a wealthy mansion in the 1840s, disappearing into the labyrinthine streets of the city and never being seen again. Others claim she was sold to a plantation deep in the South, where she lived out her days in anonymity. There are even whispers of a clandestine marriage to a wealthy sympathizer who helped her flee the bonds of slavery, though such claims are impossible to verify. What is certain is that Celeste left an indelible mark on the city, a story that persists in the collective memory of New Orleans, straddling the line between myth and reality. Historians have attempted to piece together her life from fragmented records, personal letters, and newspaper accounts, but the truth remains elusive. Some argue that her story exemplifies the dangers of romanticizing slavery, while others contend that it offers a glimpse into the resilience and agency of those who lived under unimaginable constraints. The fascination with Celeste endures because she embodies contradictions, beauty and suffering, intelligence and vulnerability, oppression and subtle empowerment. She is at once a symbol of what society sought to control, and a testament to the ways individuals could assert themselves even in the most restrictive circumstances. In modern New Orleans, tours through the French Quarter often mention Celeste in hushed tones, recounting her beauty, her cunning, and the enigmatic aura that surrounded her. Artists and writers have tried to capture her likeness, though none can claim certainty about her true appearance. Her story has been adapted into novels, plays, and films, each interpretation emphasizing different aspects of her life, her charm, her danger, her humanity. Yet, despite all these retellings, the heart of her mystery remains intact. Who was Celeste really, and what became of the woman who captivated a city and defied the expectations of a cruel world? The bizarre mystery of the most beautiful slave in New Orleans history is more than a story about physical beauty or social intrigue. It is a narrative that confronts the complexities of human desire, power, and morality. It forces us to reckon with the paradoxes of history, where individuals could be simultaneously celebrated and dehumanized, admired and oppressed. Celeste's tale invites reflection on the nature of freedom, the endurance of the human spirit, and the ways in which stories themselves can preserve memory, challenge assumptions, and inspire curiosity across generations. As night falls over the French Quarter, the sounds of jazz and the Mississippi River mingle with the whispers of history. Somewhere in the shadows of the wrought iron balconies and candle-lit courtyards, the spirit of Celeste seems to linger, a reminder of a life lived under the gaze of both adoration and cruelty, a symbol of the enduring mystery that history can hold. Whether she vanished, was sold, or quietly escaped to a new life, her legend remains, a haunting testament to the power of presence and the indomitable will of a woman who was never truly seen as she deserved to be. In the end, her story is a mirror reflecting the contradictions of human society, the fascination with beauty, the allure of power, and the tragedy of oppression. Celeste remains an icon, not because her life was simple or easy, but because it was complex, unpredictable, and profoundly human. Her life challenges us to consider the untold stories that exist in the margins, the lives overlooked by history, yet capable of leaving an enduring imprint. The streets of New Orleans carry her memory, and those who listen closely can almost hear the echoes of her footsteps, as if she walks still, moving between the world of the living and the world of legend, forever a mysterious figure whose beauty and intelligence defy the passage of time.